Welcome to Adoption North London's Introduction to Adoption.
In this video, we'll give you an overview of the adoption process,
so you can know what to expect when adopting a child in North London.
Adoption North London is a partnership of 6 local authority adoption agencies. We are Barnet, Enfield, Camden, Haringey, Hackney and Islington.
The first step is to attend an information session.
You can find details of upcoming information sessions by checking Adoption North London's website or by contacting your local adoption authority.
Talk to some of our adoption workers to give you an opportunity to find out all you can and to ask the questions that you need to.
The information session will give you the basic information you need to know to start the adoption process. Following the information session, the council will be in touch providing you with an expression of interest form. If you decide you would like to continue, fill out and return this form. A social worker will follow up with you to have a conversation about if you should move forward.
You will then be invited to attend a foundation day.
This is a one-day preparation group session that will give you more detailed information about adoption so you can decide if it is right for you. It is after this session that you contact your council and officially register your interest.
The approval process is 2 stages.
The first stage lasts about 2 months and is adopter-led, and the second stage lasts about 4 months and is social worker-led.
Stage 1.
In stage 1, you will receive a workbook with lots of questions about yourself. You will need to fill out this workbook as it will give your social worker the information needed to write a report about you. Your social worker will meet with you to discuss the workbook. During stage 1, you will visit your GP for a medical assessment. DBS checks are carried out and your social worker will collect written personal references from some of your friends and relatives. At the end of stage 1, you have a conversation with your social worker and decide if you are both happy to move forward.
Stage 2.
You will receive a letter that says you are starting stage 2. You will then begin your home study. During this period, you will have a number of visits from your social worker to gather information about you. Your social worker will also visit 3 of your nominated referees. Based on the information gathered alongside the workbook, the social worker writes your prospective adopters report, PAR. This is a document about you that the panel use to assess you for approval.
During stage 2, you'll also attend a 3-day prep group.
The prep group is an opportunity to learn in more detail the challenges that adoptive parents face. During the session, you will hear about situations that lead to children needing adoptive parents, to reflect on the kinds of children that might be available for adoption and consider what issues they may have. It will also give you an opportunity to think about what you are able to handle and meet a peer group of other potential adoptive parents.
At this stage, you will be asked to attend panel.
The panel is a group of people who assess your PAR and recommend if you should be approved as a potential adopter. The panel consists of several people including a social worker, medical professional, and adoptive parent. The panel have an opportunity to read your PAR in advance and consider your application to be an adoptive parent. On the day, you will be invited along with your social workers to meet the panel. They will already have most of the information they need from the report, however they may have some additional questions to ask you. They will let you know on the day if they are going to recommend you for approval. A week or so later, the official letter arrives saying you are approved.
Having been recommended by panel, you will now move on to matching.
The first stage is to make a matching agreement with your social worker outlining how you are going to proceed. There are several ways to go about matching, and you are encouraged to be proactive in your search. Family finders may approach you with profiles of children. You can also search websites such as Adoption Link, or Adoption UK. The majority of children you will be considering will have already been granted a placement order, which means the courts have given the order that the child can be placed in adoption.
The next step is expressing your interest in a child.
When you find a child you would like to attempt to be matched with, your social worker will contact the child's social worker. The child's social worker will make a decision on if the match should be pursued with the child's best interest in mind. At this point, you will get to read the child's permanence report, and the child's social worker will be reading your PAR. The child's social worker will visit you to discuss the potential match. A selection meeting happens with the adoption manager, your social worker, the child's social worker, and the family finder. The purpose of this meeting is to decide if the match should go ahead.
Now it's time to get prepared for your child.
Now that you know who your child is, you can child-proof your home and get the child's room ready. Now is a good time to start preparing your family book and maybe even a video. The family book is a book about yourself and your home used by the child's foster carer to introduce you to the child. You can also make a simple video to help the child become familiar with you ahead of meeting you. You could provide a transitional toy to bring with you when you meet the child. This toy is used to help them transition from foster care to your home. You will learn more about family books, introduction videos, and transitional objects during your prep group. You may meet the child's foster carer and social worker to help you prepare. Depending on the circumstances, you may also meet with the child's birth family at this stage.
The matching panel is your second visit to panel.
It works much like the first visit, but the aim is for the panel to make a recommendation to approve the match. After panel, you will have an introduction planning meeting with the foster carer, your social worker, the child's social worker, and the child's family finder social worker. You'll discuss a time frame for meeting with your child and work out a detailed plan for your child's transition from the home of the foster carer to your own. The relevant social workers will offer expert guidance in this process. Introductions are an intensive and rewarding period of transferring the child from the foster carer's house to yours. Introductions vary in time depending on the circumstances and can range from 1 week to a month depending on the child's needs. Day 1 will be at the foster carer's home. On this day, you will meet your child for the first time. The first meeting should only be for a few hours. As the days go on, you will build up the length of each visit and transfer responsibility from the foster carer to yourself. Halfway through this process, the child will begin to spend the days at your home. On the final day of introductions, the child will say goodbye to their foster carer. Both the child's social worker and the foster carer's social worker will be on hand to provide support at this time. This will be the first time that the child sleeps at your house. The next day, you will be asked to ring the foster carer to let them know how the child settled. The child's social workers regularly check in to support you. A few weeks in, you will have your first Looked After Children review conducted by your social worker, your child's social worker, and a district social worker. The aim of this meeting is to check your progress and to ensure that you are thriving and well supported. After 10 weeks, you can decide when you would like to apply for an adoption order. The adoption order is the court order that makes the adoption legal. With the support of your social worker, you make the adoption order application. Then the social workers will go to the court on your behalf. At this point, there is a 28-day period in which the birth family have an opportunity to appeal. Your family and friends are invited to join you in court to meet the judge and receive your adoption certificate. Now your child is legally adopted. North London has a range of post-adoption support that you are entitled to access.
Thank you for watching. Please visit Adoption North London's website for more information.